Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
SquareRoadRoo.com with your morning hornos. Use your sip of chaga coffee. All right. Thanks for all the emails. Yes, 20 years of trying to expose these criminals that rigged the silver market are starting to pay off. We haven't even, this is the beginning of the beginning of the end. Silver's not fairly valued. It hasn't been fairly valued for 170 years. So there's a long way to go. This is a long haul. I know you're going to see, oh my God, my silver investment went up 100%. I'm going to sell and take some profits. Go for it. Have a day. I'm not gonna. When will I sell? When silver's fairly valued. That's all I'm asking for. Fairly valued. That means no massive short position. I'll explain how that short position works right now. But the reality is we need to get banks out of commodities. Banks who get a free license, a license from the Federal Reserve to print money out of thin air. And they're allowed to trade in commodity markets and rig commodity markets. Give me a break. We need to get all the banks out of gold and silver and other commodities. It'll happen once, but it's going to have to be exposed as the crime against humanity, which it is. It's being exposed right now. Really exciting because, here's the deal. Reddit guys, I love it. It provides the perfect excuse for silver to go crazy. The regulators can say, no, it wasn't us closing our eyes for the past 20 years. It was these Reddit people. And all the banks, oh no, it wasn't us. It was these Reddit people. I don't care who gets blamed for it. The Democrats and the Republicans agree on one thing. We need to get these criminals out. Anybody on CNBC or in the at the regulator level or at the government level saying that the little guy is colluding, they should be tried for treason. Those people are part of the criminal cabal. They're bought and paid for. Check where their salaries come from. I swear to God, check where they make their money, because I'll guarantee you it gets right back to the folks like at Citadel or JP Morgan or some of these big criminal banks. The colluding of millions of people is ridiculous. You want to know who colludes in silver? I'm going to give you the list of the short positions and tell you how they justify being short. It's right here. All you have to do is look at the iShares authorized participants. This is, if you go to Road to Ruta, go to the homepage, you scroll down to the first article. It's right there. Silver iShares Trust, SLV, authorized participants, and likely COMEX naked shorts. Now, I'm saying the word naked for a very specific reason, because I know where they're claiming that they have the silver, but they don't actually own the silver. Let me show you. Here's the names. If you want to get mad at people about the rigging of silver for the past 170 years, here it is. 1, ABN AMRO. 2, Barclays Bank. 3, Citibank. 4, Credit Suisse. 5, Goldman Sachs. 6, HSBC. 7, Merrill Lynch. 8, Morgan Stanley. 9, RBC Capital. 10, Scotiabank. 11, UBS. All of those are banks, right? Look at 12. Virtu Financial. Virtu Financial is run by this guy, Vincent Viola, Vinny Viola. A high-frequency trading firm. Here's what I said about it. Note, Virtu Financial is the only non-bank on this list with an expertise in high-frequency computer trading, aka manipulation, run by Vincent Viola. Why a firm that specializes only in computer-driven high-frequency trading is an authorized participant in a physical commodity ETF is anybody's guess. Also, and this is important, there's a striking similarity in the careers of both Vincent Viola, who was once the chairman of the NYMEX, which was parlayed into a computer-driven high-frequency trading firm, and Bernie Madoff, who was the chairman of the NASDAQ before leaving to start a separate computer-driven high-frequency trading firm called Madoff Investments. Yes, Madoff Investments was a high-frequency trading firm. All they talk about is the first floor of Madoff Investments, which is Bernie and his family. The second floor was all computers running high-frequency trading for the Mossad. There you have it. And you might notice on this list, JP Morgan is not there. Why isn't JP Morgan there? They used to be there. They were there for 10 years as the biggest short. Now they have flipped and gone long. They are long on the COMEX, mainly because the regulators, the DOJ, took them out. But it is very important. They're still knee-deep in SLV because they're the custodian. Them and Vinny Viola are the ones rigging this game. That's how the game is played. So you go over to the COMEX and you look at Thursday and Friday. Now, this is not just the Reddit guys. This is the Q guys, the good guys as I call them, are also in on this. This is the end of silver manipulation. It'll happen over the next few weeks, maybe months, probably just a few weeks, until the COMEX shuts down. What they're doing right now, and here's the way they do it. See all these volumes? It's insane. This. iShares Silver Trust, that's what the Reddit guys are going after, along with some of the mining companies. But the key is, iShares Silver Trust is just booming the last few days. 30 million ounces, 37 million ounces went in on Friday. And there'll be about 20 at least, before today's trading, 20 should go in today. So here's what they're doing. They're buying, the banksters, those 12 banks are buying silver for the ETF. They're not buying it, actually. They're leasing it from JP Morgan. And they're calling it inventory and depositing it as authorized participants so that they can justify their short position on the COMEX. Because the regulators are now saying, hey, for example, say, hey, Barclays, you have a 20 million ounce short position in silver. Why do you have that? They said, well, I have 20 million ounces as an authorized participant in SLV. And where did they get that? They leased it from JP Morgan. But who really owns that silver? If you're buying a share of SLV, BlackRock, which is the trustee of the silver ETF, is supposed to be depositing physical silver into the SLV. And I think that's what they're doing. The problem with that is that Barclays still claims ownership of that share on their books, and so does JP Morgan, who's leasing it to Barclays. So Barclays, it is a cluster pluck of financial engineering. So the actual owner is JP Morgan, because Barclays has to pay back that lease. They're just leasing the metal from them. So Barclays is also telling the CFTC the reason we have this short position is because we have metal on deposit at SLV that we can withdraw as an authorized participant. But they don't really own that metal, so they're lying about their ownership and the reason for that SLV short. So basically, it's a double short. Isn't that fun? So as you see the silver volume increasing on the COMEX, you will see the amount of deposits into the SLV rising, and all these 12 bankster criminals are going to be leasing and getting silver anywhere they can. Now, there's a limit to this, the amount of silver that can be deposited into SLV. Right now, it's, I think, 650 million ounces have been deposited. Can it get to 1 billion ounces? I don't think so. I think that's the maximum JP Morgan has. So then where will they get the silver? Then you get a double short exposed, and then the Reddit guys win. It's not the Reddit guys, though. This volume is not Reddit guys. This is COMEX volume. That's 1.5 billion ounces just on Thursday. Another 1.2 billion ounces on Friday. And look at this. Look at the open interest is continuing to climb. Right now it's at 680 million ounces. 680 million ounces of open interest. Delivery date is the February 24th. That is 18 trading days. 18 trading days, and we're at 680 million ounces that could stand for delivery. This thing is not even going to last a month. So what does that mean for people who own physical silver? It means you're going to see massive rises in SLV. If you're buying SLV, remember, it's a derivative. You got to buy the real stuff as well. I did talk to Andy Scheckman this morning at Miles Franklin. He has silver in inventory that he can ship today. If you can get him the money today, he can ship it today. send him an email, Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin, MILESFRANKLIN.com. Anybody quoting you 1 or 2 week delays, do not buy silver from them because they don't even know if they can get it. I don't think they will be able to get it, truthfully. I think they've way oversold. Those online brokers have way oversold their inventory. So the moment you hear delay, you say, I want a refund right now. I want my money in my account right now. You don't have the silver and you won't get the silver. Take that money, go down to your local coin shop and buy silver. You should be doing that anyway. This system could blow at any moment. At any moment. All right. Where are we? Silver's at just bumping up near $30. $32 is a big number, and then it's 50. After 50, it's sky's the limit. I think the first run up is going to be up to 800, back down to 500 or 600. It's going to pull back after 800, and then it's going to blow sky high. Keep an eye on the gold-silver ratio. I expect the gold-silver ratio to be, first stop is probably 20-1. Second stop is 8-1, which is what they get out of the ground. Third stop is 4-1, and then it'll go 1-1. Why? Because there's 6 billion ounces of silver and 6 billion ounces of gold. And actually, there's a lot more gold out there. A lot more gold. Like 10 times the amount of gold they tell you, as I've shown on the road to. Anyway, that's where we are. This is 20 years of work, and everybody, the difference between GameStop, what they're doing with GameStop, the fundamentals of the company do not make sense as far as their price going up so high. The fundamentals of a naked short absolutely make sense. You want to know how GameStop can make $1 zillion on this? All GameStop has to do is go to the naked shorts and say, hey, we'll issue more shares to you for cash. Give us $10 billion you'll get out of your unlimited loss naked short. And then all of a sudden, that stock is worth a lot of money because GameStop all of a sudden is loaded up fresh with cash. Although the shares will be diluted. It's an ugly game, but it's so different than silver. Silver's massively undervalued. GameStop was probably fairly valued when all this craziness started. Silver's massively, 170 years of price suppression. So, based on fundamentals, based on the short position, based on everything, it is much better play to get real physical silver in your own possession. There will come a time when the price of silver, SLV, the price of COMEX silver, and the price of the real thing are going to diverge. Real silver is going to go $800, $900 an ounce. COMEX silver, who knows? It could stay where it is. Because the whole thing is a fraud. It's all completely, it's being exposed now. And this won't stop. This won't stop. It's up in they're having congressional hearings. They can't handle the light. Remember the Gatta painting, which I have on my wall? It's the Gatta boys charging the Capitol building, and half of it's in darkness and half of it's in light. They cannot handle the light because the light shows the fraud that is the global financial system. The takedown of the bankers is upon us. Get physical silver in your own possession. Get cryptos in your own possession. In your own possession will be the most important thing going forward. Because the moment the banks shut down, everything stops. You won't get your deliveries of silver. You won't get anything. You won't know the price of silver. You won't know the price of gold. You won't know the price of stocks and bonds. That's where we are. That's how crazy it is right now. And by the way, JP Morgan was just fined by the DOJ $982 million for fraudulently rigging the silver market, and yet they are still the custodian of SLV silver. It shows you how criminal BlackRock is. And currently, JP Morgan claims to have 567 million ounces of silver in their vaults for SLV. Keep an eye on that, because it's going to get crazy. I had a solution that I gave to Bart Chilton years ago when he was on the board on the CFTC, And I have posted on Road to Ruta 17 requirements for a freely traded silver market structure. When there are hearings about the silver price going through the roof and all the congressmen want to fix the problem, here's the way to fix it. It's not easy, but if you ever want to open up a silver market again after the COMEX shows what a fraud it is, here's the way to fix it. And some of them might blow your mind. One, end excessive concentration. That's an obvious thing. That's the problem with GameStop, excessive short concentration. They got caught out. It's the same thing with silver. A handful of banks control the price of silver. Number two, require public position disclosure. Yeah, tell us exactly how much each of these banks have. What's wrong with an open and freely understood market? Number three, verify and certify physical metal backing. If you're going to have a short position, you better justify it. If you're a day trader, you should have a tiny one. There shouldn't be any market manipulation. There shouldn't be 1 billion ounces of silver traded per day. And you have to verify that physical silver. We don't know if JP Morgan has all that silver. These are all paper entries. They could have zero for all we know. Number four, a physical reconciliation audit to make sure there's no leasing. Make sure the paper trail, there's no other encumbrances upon this silver. The SLV silver has massive encumbrances upon them, meaning that the silver was leased in to the person that deposited it. So that actual 100-ounce bar or 1,000-ounce bar of silver actually has 3 or 4 claims to it. That's what the dirty secret that the DTCC doesn't want to tell anybody. Analyze significant price action. When they slam the price, we want to know who did the first trades, who benefited, and how did they benefit. This is not rocket science. CFTC is supposed to be good at this. Audit past manipulation. Go back to 2011. Who did it? I'll tell you who did it. JP Morgan. They drove the price from $20 to $50 and then $50 back to $20 in 1 year. The guy's name was Bill Daley. It's not hard. He was put as Barack Obama's chief of staff just to do that. Audit and verify approved warehouses. We don't know anything in these warehouses. There's been so many stories of companies saying your metal is in the warehouse and it not being there. Remove ETFs. I think all ETFs should be destroyed, all of them. If you want silver, go buy the real thing. That's my take. Investigate collusion between large traders. All 12 of these traders collude together to rig the price. All 12 of them. And most of them have already been busted for it, but they're still doing it. Engage outside experts. Get Ted Butler to go in there and show you. He can already prove it with your own data. CFTC. Stop running cover for the banking cabal. Gold and silver derivatives. The insane part of this whole debacle is that the outside gold and silver derivative complex that dominates the trading of a very small physical market. Silver's tiny. Silver shouldn't be volatile. Every year they mine plus or minus 5% of somewhere around 800 million ounces of silver. Why is that such a volatile metal? Why is there 1 billion ounces traded every day? It's fraud. Ban high-frequency trading. That should be obvious to everybody. Vincent Viola, you got to go to jail, in my opinion. Daily limits, public disclosure. It's not only position limits. Daily limits of trading. If there was daily limits of trading, we wouldn't see this. Who's doing these trades? Is this Vincent Viola, HSBC, and Barclays just trading all back and forth to rig the price? What good does that do anybody? How does that add value to the market? It doesn't. It adds corruption to the market. And finally, a big one, CFTC employment restrictions. There's a revolving door between the CFTC and the financial companies. Pay for play. Same with crypto companies and crypto regulators. Pay for play. One of the most egregious in silver was a guy named Michael Dunn, who was a CFTC commissioner. I call him Mr. Magoo. He was the dumbest human on the planet. But what happened right after he left the CFTC? He's the guy who stopped position limits from his vote. He went right to the DTCC to be in charge of the vault at 55 Water Street, the same vault that during Hurricane Sandy they flooded. They left the door open and flooded $33 trillion worth of documents. That's how big that was. And oh, by the way, after they pumped it out, they set it on fire. That is fact. I am not making this up. Michael Dunn was the guy who went over there and did that for them. And then he retired and is off living on his farm now. It's just sick and wrong. Anyway, I'll keep you guys up to date. Make sure you sign up for the free daily updates via email right there at the top of roadtoroota.com. Free public road updates. And if you want to get deeper down the rabbit hole, go to the member area and join the private road. Look at that. I'm not even logged in. And that's $2.99 for a year, and you get access to everything, and including the Jenny Moonstone discussions we've been having, and the Theta page on how to buy Theta, even if you're in the U.S. Theta is going to be the number one crypto as far as market cap. It'll eclipse Bitcoin one day. Why? Because of its use case. It is the future of the internet. That's a big deal. Theta, Theta, Theta. My dream scenario and Road to Ruta members' dream scenario is silver goes bombing up to $800. We take all that profit and we buy Theta. Theta's got to stay low, though. Got to stay under $2. Anyway, that's how you make billionaires. This is Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com. I'll talk to you guys later.